Hello and welcome to Playing Catch Up with Lamar and Shane, where we discuss our attempts to catch up on games and react to news in the ever-evolving gaming space. My name's Lamar, I bleed green, die-hard Xbox fan. So green, in fact, that I went out of my way to give my daughter an Xbox controller, just so that was the first controller she has ever held in her life.
She's not even 2 yet. Anyway,
Yeah.
my name is Shane. I'm a science teacher by day, gamer by night. I'm inked blue, so blue in fact, I just painted my house blue, and I'm the man of the house, therefore I had no arguments from my fiancée, and everything is golden. So, Lamar, what games have we been catching up on this week?
So yeah, it's been a busy week for me. So I haven't really been playing many games, but I did take out Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Gave that a few sessions today. Just tested out the arcade mode. Because I downloaded it. I bought it ages ago. It was on the backlog, and I just thought, you know what? I got the Series X. The load times are fast. I'm just gonna put it on, see how I do. So I have no characters. I have the basic characters, Goku, Super Saiyan. But no, it's been quite fun actually. I've quite enjoyed it. It is pretty much I'm trying to think what the game is. Marvel vs. Capcom, right?
MVC, yeah.
Pretty much the mechanics and stuff. So you have to take your time and work out each combos, the characters, and what are your own combos. So I'm gonna need to put some more time into it. But I'm still committed to playing Cyberpunk as well. I've been making my way through that slowly, very slowly, but surely. So. When I don't feel like playing Cyberpunk, I'll probably go back to Dragon Ball.
I would say that's one of my day ones. I mean, that speaking of Dragon Ball, I bought it. Actually, no. That was one of the first few games I've pre-ordered. Pre-ordered it.
Okay.
It came with the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Goku and Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Vegeta. So day one unlocks. I had those.
Yeah.
If you guys are watching on YouTube, you probably see some of the footage. I'm very rusty. I picked it up again because you mentioned it earlier on, and I just decided to put a few taps in. Ultra Instinct Goku is definitely overpowered, but that's for a totally different conversation. Games this week.
I think he's probably meant to be overpowered.
That's true. You got to figure out how to combat against such an OP character. But games for me this week were Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I've almost finished. The Cult of Cosmos. I think I probably have 5 people left on the chart. I've got through 40% of Spider-Man. And I touched a little bit of Bomberman. I don't know. I just felt like I'm playing some Bomberman vibes. But yeah, that was me for this week.
Nice, man. That's good. So before we jump into our major topics this week, I just thought we'd reflect a bit on the state of play.
Right.
Shane brought up some good points over the week, so I thought it'd be good for to open a discussion on that. So just tell everyone what you were saying.
I mean, so there are lots of huffing and puffing going on about the state of play right now. Actually, truth be told, I was watching PXP this week, and he was live. It wasn't a recording. Probably 2 or 3 days after we had done our podcast, and I was just watching him, and he shared some very interesting views. One of them was stating that a lot of PlayStation fans came in with the expectations too high, myself included. But the idea was, he said, if you notice the marketing, well, yeah, you too as well. The marketing for the state of play was not anything big. You found out about it a couple of days before it was launched, and his view of it was that it was strategically done that way so that you'd go into the state of play having a neutral stance, which was quite interesting to look at it, which meant that if you're not a PlayStation fan, like in case you are, you'd go in and say, okay, cool, there's some titles that I'd actually want to play. So you walk away feeling positive. Versus if you had high expectations like we did last week, you'd walk out saying, what kind of rubbish was that? But but nonetheless, he's saying this is a strategic game that they're playing right now. And as we said in our podcast last week, we're halfway there to E3. So why put out your heavy hitters now? He also went on to say, which is quite interesting, that Sony won't come out on top of Microsoft. And I had to take a pause there. And I'm like, this guy is a PlayStation fan and he made that kind of statement. He's being a sellout right now. What is he doing?
He's coming over to the green side.
Maybe he is. But what he was saying was that, again, like us, we have to wait to see what Microsoft does. But what Microsoft is doing is lining up titles one after the other and knocking them out the park. So, with that being said, what Sony has done to combat that, he said, was just to get the news out there. So as we said, the rubbish games last week, the ones that put us to sleep, get them out there, get the bad news, the weak news out first, but then your heavy hitters and everything that would, make, would gravitate people to buying your console, you release them a lot later. Which was interesting, because you had said, you sent me an article, that said it's still expected that Horizon will be coming out later on this year, because in the ad campaigns we still have a great push for Horizon, which I didn't see, I didn't notice that, but you did, so fingers crossed.
Because when I saw that and I was thinking, why have they, let this article come out to basically say Horizon's still coming, and then mention nothing in State of Play, but what you mentioned does make sense. I mean, I was kind of hoping that the first State of Play they did for 2021 would be a big one, setting up the year. But like in hindsight, they don't really need it to be really good. Like all the PS5 consoles that are coming out are being sold, so it's not like they could do anything right now to like increase the purchases, because the purchases are all maxed out right now. Like if there's a PS5, it's bought. Like it's not going to be sitting on the shelf. So better wait till like later on, where like things start to die down. Get the excitement back up. Like make people want to like. I need a PS5 because I want to get these games.
I personally think that they should do what Boris is doing. Shout out to Boris and his lockdown plans. Just lay out all the plans and let us know exactly which dates they're going to do things. I mean, Boris does it, so why can't Sony do the same thing? Just lay out the dates as to when.
It took Boris a long time to do it. It took him a long time to get there.
Just lay out everything.
But I mean, that would be nice, but I think that the tension and anticipation also plays in their favor, right? Like, so if they do as you say and they wait till E3 will be massive. Like it will be really big.
Corona version.
The Corona version. We should actually say the E3 period.
Yeah.
Because this actually wasn't on our topics actually, but we should talk about it. There was an article that I found this week, that was released this week, and they were basically saying that E3 might not happen, like the physical event might not happen.
I saw that as well. Yeah, I did. It came up in my Google feed. Yeah, it did. But that would be that's not surprising.
Which is
not surprising with the climate of the world. you kind of
but it's kind of worrying, right? Because you're thinking, is E3 gonna come back after this? Like, I mean, because last year, it was fine. Like Nintendo, Nintendo wasn't there anyway. Sony stopped going. Microsoft was kind of there. I don't know what their thing was. I think they was in like a separate location, which is like across the street or something. I don't know. I can't remember. But E3, like everything was happening around E3. But last year, because E3 was cancelled, it was kind of it was all over the place. And this year, if E3 won't happen the same way,
right,
then like I feel like all these companies are going to be like, well, it's cheaper just to distribute all our stuff through directs.
It might be that But I still, as I said last week again, I still feel like companies revealing the titles in LA is still a hallmark. It's still something to kind of grab
Yeah,
your fans.
yeah, like yeah. I mean, I wanted E3. I wanted E3 to come back for that reason. One of the things last year, it just felt like all the big news was just spread out over time,
Right.
and it's just you just not you're getting your information like all over the place, and it's hard to track all these things. And I even like heard some journalists in their podcast saying that like actually the workload was harder for them last year because it was like everything was just was defragmented, whereas at
Yeah,
E3,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, the E3 like week was like super intense for them. But at least they knew that like after E3, after those 7 days, they could just sleep and just rest.
And
But like
it's
last
blocked
year, they were
off.
like, "Oh, I'm gonna rest now," and then, "Oh no, there's a new announcement." Oh, okay, and then they don't even know how big these announcements are gonna be. So like, you just have to be on it like constantly.
I mean that's good
So
and
yeah,
bad.
I mean, yeah, go
But
on.
I feel their pain. I genuinely feel their pain. Um,
Yeah,
and it's not only fragmented. Is as for instance, Nintendo has their booths, their hall for X amount of days. Sony does the same thing. Xbox does the same thing. So you have all the announcement all at once.
yeah,
You may have small trickles through the today through the booths, but at the same time, you get all of your announcements at once. Here,
yeah,
the only advantage I can see is that with the staggered release of things, you give developers a little more time to prepare a little more of their products to release them at different points. So, for instance,
yeah. That's
um,
true.
just to say, Mario was coming up with a next 35th anniversary game, but due to lockdown, it wouldn't have been ready for, let's say, for E3. But then because you've now switched to digital in a month's time, if Nintendo feels like it, they can be like, okay, cool, you have enough to present now. We don't have to wait until E3.
Yeah,
Can let the fans know.
yeah, that is true. There's like yeah, they can do more regular updates and probably give more time for the games as well, so to explain it, do deep dives. Because I think that was like one of the good things they did for like Ghost of Tsushima. I remember when they were doing a promotion for that, and they did a deep dive of like him running on the horse and running everywhere, how they discovered new locations, and that made
Right.
like I just remember that one deep dive. I was like, I really want this game, and I really wish Xbox did this with like with their stuff.
Nope,
It did make
only
me jealous
Sony.
for a second. I was bleeding green at that point. You know what I mean? I was cut, but there was green blood.
Okay. I mean, I
Yeah,
can't fight you with that one. But I'm thinking, even though we say this, Nintendo is still keeping all the cards close to the chest. We have not heard anything.
on Nintendo.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything about Zelda since. And I think I'm genuinely waiting
That
for
is
that.
true.
I'm
Yeah, that
genuinely
is
waiting.
definitely true.
But
Yeah. So yeah, go on.
no, it's alright.
Was you gonna say something? Okay. Yeah. So I was gonna move into the first topic, right? Which is Stadia. We did mention this a bit in the previous podcast. But news broke that Stadia closed their first party studio after after one of the heads of the studio left.
But that was his
Which
fault
is
still.
crazy.
That's his fault. That's poor planning. You can't be competing against known companies that's been in the game for a minute and do
Yeah.
what you're doing. So, and if we're reading the same article, he pushed a lot of things ahead of schedule before they were ready ahead of
Yeah.
time, which then caused a whole cascading effect that they couldn't manage, and it just looked really bad on him. But I mean, what
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
happened? And
Precisely.
that's
Yeah.
the question. What exactly happened? Where did it go wrong? What did
Yeah.
Stadia do? And what can we learn
But I
from
think
them?
there was
Because
a yeah.
we're
Yeah.
gonna
What
make
can we learn, right?
what
Because it's
can we
like
learn?
yeah. Because I mean I was thinking like what makes a good console, or even these days you have to say what makes a good console platform, because Stadia wasn't a physical console that you would
Right.
buy, put in your house. It was online, so technically it was a platform, a console platform. Um, But like I don't know. I think for me as a day one Stadia, I purchased Stadia like day one.
Tis,
My
tis,
reasoning was
tis,
actually just to be
PlayStation.
I
Tis, tis.
know my reasoning though my reasoning was actually just to be a day one holder, right? And just
Right,
to get my username.
right.
And I wanted to and I also wanted to test it out against xCloud. So I was hedging my bets. I was like, got
But I mean,
xCloud, got
Google never does
Stadia.
anything wrong, so you were good to hedge your bets. But
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it was risky because Google have been known for canceling stuff. So
true.
and like so that was the risk. So yeah, I went anyway, and I bought it or ordered it. It didn't go anywhere. I bought it from home. It came to me. Um, but yeah, so as one of the owners, one of the founders, you could say, as in founder edition, I bought the founder edition controller. It's pretty disappointed not to see them double down on gaming. I thought that they would have. I thought they would have. Like I don't know. I kind of thought it was like common sense of like if you launch a platform, you're gonna need exclusives to tell people that like this, like basically to show off the console and to also say if you want to use our console, you like if you want to play this game, you have to use our console. I do think that exclusives are sellers.
You know what's bad, right?
It's one of the. Go on, go on.
You know what's bad, right? KFC did a better job with their console.
Oh dear.
At least I get chicken with my with my games.
I know. I get chicken. Oh, I can't believe
Listen,
they made a console.
where
That's
Stadia
crazy.
fell, KFC rose. I'm telling you this.
All right. Yeah, but like no, honestly, like the yeah, like exclusives, they should have doubled down on that. I think like we're talking like they've failed, but as in they're shutting down, but they haven't shut down. They've just shut down the first party studio, so they're still working with third party. They'll say. I'm not sure what that will look like in the future, but they were like so in the article they said that Hideo Kojima had a game for them, was gonna make a game, and that got cancelled. Like they passed on it.
Why would you
I'm
pass?
like,
You pass on a
this
guy
is
who's been making games for more than 30 years. Why would you do that?
like yeah, like if you look at Death Stranding, right? We didn't even know what that game was, and it was gonna sell anyway, just because his name was on it. It doesn't matter what the game is. It will just burn copies. If they made a Hideo Kojima exclusive for Stadia, like just think of like how many people would have bought,
They would have
like
bought
bought
it
into it.
just because of his name. He's built a reputation for
Yeah,
himself. All of
yeah,
his Metal Gear games, all I don't know. Stadia, I don't know what to say. If anybody's listening out
yeah.
there,
That's what I'm saying. So
I don't know, Stadia. You shouldn't.
y-
In my opinion, you're
yeah,
representing Google. You're Apple's biggest competitor, and I think if Apple decides to go gaming, that's it. That's game over. Like that's what I'm thinking about.
yeah. Well, I mean, they're doing Apple Arcade, right? But
See,
it doesn't
same
seem like
thing.
I think they're like dipping their toes in, right? Just dipping their toes in. But like with these guys, you have to go all out because even at least what Luna did or what they're doing, Amazon Luna is they're kind of
Yep.
doing it like a beta at the moment. Like I think it's only available in America. You can't get it here.
Yeah, that's true. I
I
tried.
wouldn't have got it anyway because I was like, oh, I've already got Stadia.
No,
Now,
I
now,
tried. I tried. I tried.
yeah, I
Didn't
won't
work.
get it anyway.
Didn't work because they had
What didn't work? Sorry.
it did the Amazon games here because I have both a US account and a UK account, but of course I'm not in the
Okay, yeah.
US, so I can't use the US account really. The bank is gonna ask me a whole lot of unnecessary questions right now, but apart from that, the reason why I wanted it at the time because last month's release they had an SNK collection, and I'm a big King of Fighters fan, so I really wanted the King of Fighter collection, but I couldn't get it, so I just had to leave that aside. But hey, the question is, in Stadia's case, is it all downhill from there, I mean, is it going to be a Colosseum collapse? Stadium, that joke. So we don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm not that joke. I got it. I got it. I got it. Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard. I think if they do want to like continue, I think they'll need to somehow start getting exclusives back, or I don't know, getting a reason why people want the console or want the platform. Because for me, like I have Stadia. The only game I think I have like two games on there. So I have the Division,
Right.
and I only got that because it was £8 and it was an impulse buy. And I wanted just to test Stadia out properly because I think that I had it came with like 3 months free of Pro. I can't remember what their higher tier is. So I had Destiny on there, which
Right.
loaded really quick. Slower than my Series X now. I'm probably slower than the PS5 now, but I did use Destiny on there for a while because the loading times were nice. But then after my subscription ran out because I didn't renew it, I didn't think it was worth it. I got the Division, and then I bought Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate
Yes.
3.
Baldur's Gate, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the Baldur's Gate 3 is the only game I'm going to play on Stadia now.
Oh, interesting.
But like every other game they've released is released on Xbox.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? And so like if my internet's down or anything,
You can
like
just
if
play it
anything
on Xbox.
happens, like I can play it on my Xbox. It's fine. So like there's no real reason to like have Stadia apart from in my case Baldur's Gate. You know what I mean? Like if I can only play Baldur's Gate on Stadia or on PC.
Or on PC, yeah. I was about to say,
Like those
just
are
run
yeah
it on
exactly
PC.
those are my two options. So in that case, like you know what I mean, like and so for me, I'm only going to play Stadia for one game, and that's the only game they have in my case that I would want to play. So they really need to like double up. They need to do if they want to jump back in, they need to do Microsoft level
They just need to
Bethesda.
take a risk. It's just a simple risk. Create one original piece. So I think closing down the studio in and of itself was a bad decision on their part. They shouldn't have done that. I think
Yeah.
just take your loss, run away with your tail between your legs, head back to the studio in your dungeon in the basement, and work on a new project. Don't fire everybody. I think that's just poor planning. Like you stumble, you make a mistake,
Yeah.
you learn from it, move ahead. Don't cancel everything.
Yeah. Yeah, so like the early there was some stuff on like the early days of Xbox, and what Bill Gates actually said he's just gonna dump money
Yeah,
into the gaming space, and that's what he said. He never expected to turn profit like in like first few months or years
right.
of the Xbox coming out. He was like, we're gonna buy our market. We're gonna buy our market share. You know what I mean? So they just dumped money, and that's what like Google has to do if they want to be taken seriously as a gaming platform. They gotta like they gotta put money down.
But then
You know what I mean? So
with that being said, or question is, what makes a good console? Did Stadia really consider its consumers? Did they?
I think so. Like various things I've heard. I heard that they weren't targeting like me and you, like the console gamers. They were trying to target like more casual gamers, people that would have played on a mobile phone.
Alright, so you're talking about the guys who are
That people
traveling on
that
the
don't.
train daily and taking the
Yeah,
bus.
but you know what I mean. But in that scenario, it doesn't work because even especially in the UK trains, internet is terrible.
It is,
Like
and
it's really bad.
Candy Crush covers that. The Candy Crush don't need no internet, so those people are covered.
But that's what I'm saying. Candy Crush don't need the internet, but like imagine Stadia trying to do Stadia on a train. It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna work.
Like
Yeah,
it's just not gonna happen.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
So like I don't know. Like I don't know. They should have targeted console gamers and made it more convenient because once you get them and you get more casual. So like for instance, PlayStation, right? PlayStation targets hardcore gamers,
True.
and in doing so, have become so popular that casual gamers will buy a PlayStation, right?
Yeah, and that's why
Like,
you see,
you know what I mean? If you go into a store and you're presented with an Xbox, a Nintendo, and a PlayStation. Well, I threw a Nintendo, but now I regret doing that for this example. Just say an Xbox and a PlayStation, right? They're more likely to go for the PlayStation without doing any research. What exclusive? What games I'm gonna play? Automatically, they're gonna go for a PlayStation.
That's kind of funny, you know. You know why I said that? Because Nintendo, I don't think you should have pulled Nintendo out of that, because Nintendo has history. So when you hear
they do.
When you hear Nintendo, you automatically think video games. So anybody,
yeah, but the reason why I pulled out of Nintendo. I was trying to say that going for the hardcore gamers makes a really big difference. Nintendo are different, and they're in their own little like world of fame, because it's not they don't target hardcore gamers.
That's true.
But they're just literally popular anyway. But their games are so unique. I don't know. This is definitely a good conversation, because all the things I was thinking that makes a good platform, Nintendo don't really fulfill that much. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
having great specs.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I mean? Having good graphics. But you know what? Actually, I think what Nintendo win at is the essence of fun and play. They do capture the essence.
Yeah,
of
so
fun
I think that's what they wanted in the beginning.
Yeah, go on.
That's what they wanted in the beginning.
Yeah.
So you look at their history.
But if you think about it, Nintendo are the most exclusive out of all the consoles out there, right?
Right.
Like, who has the most exclusives? Nintendo do.
Because they make their own games. That's the problem. Well, not the
they
problem.
make their own. Yeah, they make their own game.
They make their own games, and all the studios.
It's a problem when the prices don't go down.
That's another problem. That's where the apple of.
If someone went to buy Breath of the Wild now, they'll probably be spending the same amount of money I did when I bought it day one.
Money. They probably took off £10 if so much. It's like a house. You know, like house prices supposed to depreciate. Yeah. Nintendo games appreciate.
Yeah, it's true.
Nintendo games appreciate.
What was I gonna say? So imagine right, if all of Nintendo's games were published on PlayStation and Xbox, would you buy a Nintendo Switch?
Probably not.
Wow.
Yeah, I would, because of the portability. The portability. That's why you'd buy it.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that. Yeah, portability. But like, besides portability, like, I mean, have you ever docked your Nintendo Switch?
Yeah, when I'm home. If it's not docked, then
okay.
If I'm not home, it's
I
not docked.
I never play mine docked.
Oh well, okay.
Yeah, I never play mine docked, but like, you know what I mean, like, you'll play it on those consoles, but you know what? Well, not everyone. People with the budget usually have a PlayStation or an Xbox and a Nintendo. Like, I remember when Nintendo. Yeah, I remember when the Nintendo Wii came out. Everyone had a Nintendo Wii. Everyone had a Nintendo Wii. It was crazy.
Worst.
I think worst joystick. But they actually, I was in in university. Someone did a case study on Nintendo, on the Nintendo Wii, and they sold more Nintendos than they anticipated, and they saturated the market faster than they thought they would. So their problem ended up being that they sold too many consoles, and there weren't that many people left to buy the consoles often. It's a good problem. Well, good maybe bad problem to have. Depends on how you budgeted, but
that's just interesting. With
but
Nintendo.
yeah, I think definitely. But I think Nintendo have their own formula and it works, and I think it's because of, number one, the exclusives, but the exclusives do capture that essence of fun. Like I don't know, like I remember, it was last year that Animal Crossing came out, right?
Which no,
like, I've never played Animal Crossing. I still haven't. Was it last year?
No, it's before that, because Animal Crossing started, if I remember correctly. Don't shoot me, Animal Crossing fans, if I get this wrong, but because I've never played Animal Crossing. I don't intend to play it. I don't plan to play it. But Animal Crossing is coming from Is it the Wii as well? I think is it a Wii or 3DS?
Yeah, but I mean, like there was this new one, right? This new one
Yeah,
was
yeah,
a Switch release.
the
I'm sure
Switch
it
release.
came out,
Yeah, yeah.
it came out last year.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, so I'm the same as you. Never played it. Never intended to play it. I still don't really intend to play it because it's not my type of game. I've seen it, but when it came out, everyone was talking about it, and like, I can't believe it, but I was super tempted to buy it just to see what everyone was talking about.
I think it has
Because that's
has a
how much
Sims
like my
element
Twitter
to
was
it.
just full of it.
It
Yeah,
has a Sims
it does,
element
and
to
like
it, so I think that's what people are gravitating to. Just this.
yeah, and it became very meme worthy, and you know, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll buy it, but
Nope.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I always did want to try those games, like you know, Stardew Valley, and trying to think of what the other one was. Stardew Valley is the one where you manage the farm, I think,
Yeah,
as well.
I probably play.
But like, I always wanted
Stardew.
to try. Yeah, I haven't played that either, but I do want to play like one of those games one day, just to see what it's like. But I just know that it's like you have to like spend a lot of time on it.
You do. So
have
it's
to
like
pour a lot of
Farmville.
time into those
Farmville
games.
from Facebook. That's what Stardew Valley reminds me of.
Yeah.
So.
You gotta pour all that effort in, and if I do that, then my backlog is gonna it's gonna grow.
Yeah, it's gonna get out of hand.
All right, so I think that's it for this week. Hope you guys have enjoyed the podcast. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Also comment if you think we said anything wrong. Let us know. If you think we said anything
Many
that
things
you
wrong.
agree with, let us know. Please let us know what you think about Stadia. Did you buy into it? Did you make my mistake, or is it a mistake? Do you think they're gonna come back swinging?
No,
I don't know. What do you think the
it's
future is in store with them?
Strike. They're out. But give us advice. Give us.
We'll have to see. Actually, you know what? Sorry, I did say we were finishing, but I just want to say it was really funny, right? Because I think it was last year or the year before last year, the head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, basically said that Sony wasn't their competition, but Amazon and Stadia were. And like so he genuinely thought that Google and Amazon were a threat. And like if you think about it, they were, because of the amount of money backing like Amazon and Stadia. They could literally just buy. They could have done a Bethesda, you know what I mean? Like Microsoft and Bethesda, and bought someone and be like, you're making stuff for our platform now. So they were a genuine threat. And now like overnight, Stadia's like not a threat anymore. So yeah, that was an interesting point I did want to say out. So yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts on Stadia. So yeah, thanks for catching up with us. If you want to catch us on social media, I'm on Twitter. My username is SCYBZ, Skypes with a C. I'm also on PlayStation and Xbox with the same username as well, so you can catch me there. You, Shane?
Hey guys, if you want to catch me, you can catch me at Crimson_6. That's on Twitter and Instagram. And if you're a PlayStation junkie like I am, Crimson6 Alpha, and it's number 6. Alright.
Cool. Alright, so we'll catch you next week. It's been good.
Catch you on the flip side.
Peace.